My definition of family is muddy. I wasn't raised with my biological family until I was like 10. It just looked like two people that stepped in and made me a part of their family, that took me in when nobody else could or would, and raised me. You know, they knew my mom when she was a kid. She was friends with their children, and I guess I was entrusted to them, and they just sat me down and told me the news. And I guess I didn't even really know what adoption meant. So they told me that news, and then they went into further explanation of what that meant, and that I had a whole other family out there somewhere. So everything was just a big change for me. My world was just uprooted in an instant. My name is Joe Tijerina, and this is my story. My stepfather, I had my 10th birthday, November 19th, and then my stepfather died of emphysema the day after, November 20th, after my 10th birthday. I was just kind of numb. My world was spinning. I felt a mixture of emotions. And being 10 years old, I didn't even really know how to articulate those emotions, I guess. So it just felt like a big sadness. And then at 13, we went to go live with my mom, who had just come out of prison again. And as a teenager, I thought that was great. I said, okay, I'm going to live with my mother, and everything is going to be great. Everything is right with the world. This woman is going to love me unconditionally, and it's going to be amazing. This is what I've always wanted. And she did love us, but she was not a nurturer, and emotionally, we felt very lacking, for lack of better words. She felt very cold and distant. So I'm starting at ground zero yet again as a teenager, all over. New school, trying to make new friends. And so again, I'm left with this question mark of, what do I do? Who am I? I tried to fit in with the popular kids, wear what they were wearing, speak how they spoke, walked how they walked. But I just couldn't do it because that wasn't me. And so going into high school, having all of those emotions of being confused and lost and afraid, time got very dark for a little bit. My friends introduced me to weed, to marijuana. And so me and my brother, we become very big smokers, kind of come home. The second I opened the door to come home, we would just smoke weed. We'd roll a joint and start smoking until we went to bed, really. And that was a daily thing for a year or so, until I became a junior and realized I didn't really need that anymore. That it wasn't satisfying me, that I did it and I still felt empty. I thought to myself, there's got to be more to life. If this is it, then I don't want to live anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I thought, what did I used to do when I was a little kid, before I felt this jaded and corrupted by the world? Who was I? And I used to really love to read and write a lot. So I went to my local library one day after school, and then I remember picking up one book and thinking, and we're going through the leaflet, the cover, and thinking, reading it and saying, oh my gosh, millions of people are disappearing. This is so crazy. Oh, it's a Christian book. I took it home, and I maybe had held on to it for a few more days and was reading it. And during that time, my dad had just recently got out of prison, and my brother was just packing up a garbage bag and saying to my mom, I'm gonna go live with Dad. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't know if you love me. And so her and him bickered back and forth. And at some point I just remember interjecting in and just telling her how neglected we had felt over the years, ever since living with her from 13 on. How it felt like, again, Mom, I know you're a wonderful provider, but we're lacking in something so crucial to life, and that was love. We can't feel that you love us. When you're here, you're not even here. And this conversation went on for a little while, and emotions are going and tears are flowing. And when the smoke cleared, I just remember hugging her really tight and letting her know that we loved her no matter what, even though she didn't know how to show it. And so as I go back to my room, the book's lying on my bed, and I enter the doorway. And at that moment, I just felt this presence just tugging at my heart. And I can't sit there and say that I audibly heard the voice of God, but I could feel like he was telling me, the Holy Spirit was telling me, Joe, everything that you've been wanting to fill your life with drugs, pursuit of women, pornography, how's that working for you? You're still empty, aren't you? I was. I said, yes, God, if this is you, I do. And I could just feel that he was telling me that's because there's a God-sized hole that I placed in your heart that only specifically that I can fill. And so I modeled a prayer after one of the kids in the book that I was reading did, and to ask Christ into my life, and bam, I just felt this surge of energy just flowing through me. I don't really know how to describe it, just this everlasting joy that I had felt after that moment. And I think that was a school night, and I didn't even go to sleep. I just was rejoicing in the Lord for hours, and then just went to school the next day. And outwardly, I don't know how much it changed, but inside, I knew with beyond a shadow of a doubt that I was a new person, that I was a new being, a new creation.